My guest on today's Travel and podcast is Marcus Peterson. Marcus is an NFL wide receiver, a model, and owner of a motivational apparel brand. How you doing today, Marcus?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Great, buddy. I'm sure you get a lot of questions about your football career and the apparel brand and all that. The thing that really stepped out for me is hearing you were on an 8-man high school team, which I don't know if anyone can appreciate. How many 8-school players have ever made it to the NFL? Do you know?
Actually, there's one now. He was drafted last year. He's a linebacker for the Cowboys. He had a good year. I forgot his name. I think he went to Boise State. But anyway, I think probably just maybe like 2, maybe 2.
Yeah, I mean, I remember back in my day, there was the 8-man teams were up in like Big Bear.
Yeah, they're for like private schools.
Yeah, and they're all like really small schools.
Yeah.
So that's just a huge accomplishment. And then you went on to Seton Hill, not Hall, but Hill.
Yeah. So in high school, I graduated with 25 students and all. So I was the 25th, not the 25th, but it was 25 of us.
Yeah.
And then went to a very small school again in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania as well, called Seton Hill University.
And you were the first NFL player out of that school?
Yes, sir. The first ever.
The same thing with Price?
Yeah, so Price, it's a Christian school called Crenshaw Christian Center, which is in Los Angeles. Frederick Casey Price is the senior pastor. So I didn't attend that church at the time. I attended another church, but it was a really dominant school for basketball.
Right.
I remember when I was coming out of school, it was like 7 D1 basketball players all on the same team. You can only have 5 on the court. So
exactly.
You kind of imagine how, much of a demand was for basketball. They had scouts there like every day. So I kind of went there for basketball because it was such a big basketball hype school. But then when I was going to high school, everyone was getting taller, and I was just getting more fit. So I really looked up to the basketball coach, and he told me, your physique, you should try out football. So like my 10th grade, the football coach and my best friend, who I met, he's about 2 years older than me, like they literally kept pressuring me to play football because, only going to be like 11 or 12 of us out there.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I tried it, and I wanted to do it to condition for basketball, but then, when you're around a type of environment, their passion kind of, dwindles on you. So that's how I started.
I hear you. Like I said, I just can't even imagine coming from an 8-man and then going to Seton Hill and then, making it to the NFL. So that just shows, persistency, dedication, focus, everything.
Especially focus and persistence. But, it feels good, honestly. I had to take the longest road, but, it finally worked out.
Explain to me, after college, what was your path? Because that's when I know you started traveling quite a bit.
Yes, so briefly, 2016 when I graduated from undergrad, that program, it was just like they wanted to help you, like, build you up to be a man, which is good and understanding, but, like, some people have goals to reach in the next level. They don't want to just do traditional, graduate, get a job, and become a father and a good man, etc. Which nothing is wrong with that, but, at 23 years old, with aspiration to get into NFL, it's not my main focus. 22, so I started training with like elite NFL players, receivers, and quarterbacks in the off season. So, they were like, "Oh, you're really talented." And I remember I forgot who it was, but when someone asked me, what NFL team did I play for, and I was like a junior or going to be a junior in college, I think that very moment is when it switched from just playing to becoming a passion.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
And just really quickly, and to be honest with you, as I've said in a bunch of interviews and podcasts, there's really 2 reasons why I wanted to make it to the NFL, and this is the total honest truth. Number one is I remember my senior year of high school, I was dating this girl that I was so in love with, puppy love. And then so she broke my heart, unfortunately. So I wanted to make it to the NFL or be an actor, something on TV. so that she can see me, and then we can, like, you know, get back together. Kind of like a
I got you.
if you will. And then the second one was a lot of people kept telling me I couldn't, and, you know, no one in the program ever did. They said you weren't good enough. It's not going to happen. So I'm a very, you know,
underdog.
I don't know if it's because of my personality, but it's just like, if you tell me I can't go right, then, you know, I have to find a way to go right. So I think it's just built in my personality. I have to do it, you know, if you tell me that I can't. So I have to have, like, the last laugh. So that's
my wife's the same way.
And it worked out. Thank God.
Well, obviously it worked out. Like I said, my wife's the same way, man. Now I figured out, unfortunately for her, I play that against her.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, you can't do that. She goes, what?
Yeah.
Perks her head up, you know?
Yeah.
Because I really
but more in
wanted
a
to do it.
positive way, not in a negative.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. You'll figure it out after you've been married for a few years.
I'll take my time.
Well, hey, babe, we got to get going at 6. I don't think you're going to be able to be ready by 6.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
So it's all positive. I just need to get out of the house by 6 so we can hit traffic.
Oh, okay.
But if I tell her she can't do it, then she ends up doing it. Well, it's a competitive thing.
Yeah, I think that I was like that. I think I started to notice it maybe when I was like 16. But I really started to notice it around 21.
Okay.
I think 21 is when it sparked.
Do you think that's going to help you with everything else you're trying to get done? I mean, the
NFL,
definitely. Yeah, I mean, the NFL is, a long career is 10 years. You know.
Yeah, it's average 3.
Yeah, so I mean, at 3 years, you're already a third of the way through your career.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next? And that's what I like talking to people about. And you've already got it going on.
The blessing about everything is what I didn't understand in 2016, but what I understood when I signed the first NFL contract was 2 years later was everything is on God's timing. So what I wanted 2 years prior, I wasn't mentally mature, physically ready, experience-wise ready. So I thought what I wanted, I was ready for, but 2 years later, I understood why it happened, and with a growth of 2 years. So now everything I do, I understand, because I was terrible at patience. Like, I had like a microwave mindset. So now when things happen or occur, I sit back and I say, I'm just going to give it all and wait on God. So in those 2 years, I've grown and done so much that now it affects in a positive way everything that I do off the field. So I got my MBA in global business finance overseas in England, near London. I started a modeling career. I was able to travel the world, almost every country in the Middle East and in Europe. So the back door that I thought I didn't want to go through or way was the best way, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. When you were traveling, can't imagine. I mean, for me, I didn't start traveling until I was in my 20s. You know, growing up, we just didn't have a lot of money and we didn't go anywhere. So now I overly appreciate every place I go to. You know, and I try and see the local sites and all that. What are some of the things that stood out for you when you traveled?
So the last part one more time.
What were some of the things that stood out when you traveled overseas?
Oh, God, I can go on and on about this. One key thing, I understood how small America really was.
Mm-hmm.
When you're living here, all you think about is like, America is so huge. The American impact, the population, the market is so huge. When I was over there, it was so small because you have the Chinese and the Japanese market, which can double, or triple the U.S. market. You got the U.K. market, the French market alone, German, African. So it's like the world is so huge. Another thing that pointed out to me a lot was time management is key. There's no such thing as, for instance, you wake up maybe 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and you go to sleep about 11. There's really no such thing as appointed times. I've learned that there's 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like a lot, but that transformation of morning and night to 24 hours is very drastic, because like you can be asleep here, but trying to just waking up.
Yeah.
So you have to get that email. So like my sleeping pattern was terrible, because when I was doing my dissertation and trying to build a global brand, I remember having to set my alarm clock at 4 in the morning because it was 7 p.m. here in Los Angeles.
Oh,
so, if I needed to email or get in touch with people in the U.S. or, in France or in the UAE, times were different. So just understanding that we have 24 hours in a day. I would take a nap at like 10 p.m., which is absurd, and then go to sleep at like 6 a.m. But like everything was just different because there's so many different time zones,
Well, yeah, and for my work, my day job, we deal with factories in China, Vietnam, India, and Mexico. Mexico's the same time zone though. But you start dealing with time zones of different countries, and you got to get, you got deadlines for order cuts and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's different, and then you're dealing with freight issues from China or India, and then you got, God. So yeah, you're right. It's actually a small world now with technology.
Yeah, exactly. And even with that, like the dollar fluctuates. So like if the yen 1 week can be 85 cents compared, and then a couple of days later it could be 60 cents. So you have to look at that as well. So everything was just way more advanced when I was able to travel. When it came to cultures, religions, history, laws, it was just
international trade laws, and I think that's why with what you're trying to do after your NFL career, actually getting your MBA in London probably is best suited, because it gave you that mindset.
I've always looked at it like for instance, in high school, if you learn Spanish.
Yeah.
Someone,
especially in California.
So my Spanish teacher was African American. He's fluent in Spanish, knew everything in Spanish. But I think it's a correlation from learning someone who typically is a Latin descent or Hispanic. So it kind of makes it like that. So I learned international business, which is called global business there. Mm-hmm. So to learn international business and or deals internationally kind of made not just more sense, but I learned more authentically than I would have probably if I would have learned international affairs in just one market, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so interesting. You talk about the yen and the exchange rates and all that. And for my company, we're anywhere from 5 to 7 months out. So if I get an order today, the product's going to ship in November. And we don't pay until the product's shipped. So the factory is guessing, what the exchange rate's going to be at the time of the shipping.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trump says one thing, not Trump, but the president, it could be whoever, mentions one thing about an embargo or a trade, some trade deficit or, whatever. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden our rates go, but we've already committed to, what I mean? I've already sold it at this price based on what you quoted me now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been a big factor that I don't think a lot of end users, consumers understand.
And it just kind of on the same subject, it's funny because when I was overseas, so the election was January 2017. Mm-hmm. So I was there August 2016 to about August 2017. And the first question, not even my name, when people overseas would hear my voice, my accent, my name wouldn't be added. It would be like, so how do you feel about, Trump? That was literally the first question every single time.
and back in the day when I was growing up, we were always taught you don't talk about politics or religion in business because they're too polarizing. So in business, you don't want to talk about that stuff because, what you might believe in or think isn't wrong. It's just you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now it's just weird because it's business.
Nothing to do with the dollar, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I go out and I'm selling you a product that you need in your store for you to stay open, what does it matter? As long as I don't talk about religion or politics, we're all good.
Yeah.
And now it's a weird environment to be around where people are actually bringing it up, and it's just like, wow, that never happened.
And people are getting backlash of, which I think is deserving, of course, of stuff that they said, have done, or believed in, or from, let's say, even 30, 50 years ago. So
yeah,
when it comes to politics and views and whatever they think or have done, that really does affect business.
Yeah, and it's a weird. I mean, I've gone in some stores, some accounts, and my business started growing, and I asked why, and they were upset with the other manufacturer's sales rep who said something one way or the other. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. You know what I mean?
You really got to learn to stay in your type of roles when it comes to, especially dealing with overseas. Because, like, for instance, if you go to UAE, and you conduct business, and you try to go like reach for a hug for a woman's wife or something first, you're done. Yeah.
I've got a friend that's in Dubai right now, and
nice.
I met her in October, and she's a personal trainer, and she mentions it's a different world.
Yeah, that was the most amazing part to me, was how different and how huge the world really is.
Yeah, and that's with my podcast. It's kind of weird because I've reached, including the U.S., which I don't know. That's where I'm at. But I'm in 20 countries right now. I've been listened to in 20 countries.
Oh, wow, nice.
I'm like, what? You know what I mean? It's just me talking to some people. But it's a small. That's why I say it's a small world.
Yeah, it's a big world, but it's a very small. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, technology. You can't appreciate it, Marcus. Because it's like when my parents were saying, you don't remember life before TV and all that. It's like, yeah, you're right. I don't.
My mom gets mad when I don't remember stuff when I'm like 3 years old. I'm like, oh, I can't help that.
Exactly. But it's so weird to think that, when we hang up, I can call up and FaceTime my friend in Dubai, and have a face-to-face conversation with her. That's mind-blowing, which is awesome. What are your biggest, when you travel with the Chargers, what's it like?
It was mind-boggling because growing up middle class, I was growing up comfortable, but it was my first time like being around so many financially stable men, so everything, because I didn't go to a Division I school, so you had to get your own gloves, you had to get your own cleats. I was on eBay every 2 months. So they had the best food and all the gear, everything you need. So that was different for me because I went to a very small school, so I wasn't used to that at all. It was just mind blowing of how fast they can get you something or fix a problem, because it's the company, it's an organization. So they have the best top-notch staff, and when it comes to IT security, anything, you name it. So that was the biggest thing to me, is seeing how great technology and how luxurious everything was. So
yeah, it's got to be kind of going from Seton Hill and and a school with 25 graduates in high school to a well-oiled machine, which is what NFL teams are.
Exactly.
And you played for Iowa, the Barnstormers?
Yeah, so I played with the Barnstormers for about a month and a half, 2 months. With that, I wanted to get back in football shape because I excelled really well in overseas in Europe. And coming out of college undergrad, I had to work out with the Cleveland Browns for the VP of the team, Hugh Jackman, who was the head coach of the team at the time.
Oh, yeah.
They're both not there anymore. But
yeah, welcome to the league.
Yeah. You get like a 30-day lease. So,
exactly.
I didn't have enough college film, so they told me to, get some more film. Like I do really good shorts and T-shirt, but they needed like more when it came to film. So did that. So that was my huge drive. And then I was looking as a leasing consultant for USC, the college coming out.
Yeah.
And then so I was going to get fired from that job. So I had like a Facebook message, random Facebook message from a coach in England saying, would you like to play overseas? Yada, yada, yada. And I thought it was kind of like a spam type thing, so I did more research. And then about 2 other guys from the U.S., 3 other guys were going to do the same thing. So that kind of led me more to it because it had more support because we were all confused, but we wanted
like what's going on?
We're all on the same page. So, once you have 2 or more gathered, then, it kind of helps you out. But I don't really talk about how hard it is to not trying to just leave the country, but trying to live in another country. Oh, goodness. It was so hard when it came to visas, passports, paperwork, clearance. Oh, God, it was the hardest probably 4 months of my life.
Wow.
It all worked out.
Was it just frustrating having to deal with all the different forms and all that?
Yeah, so here's the thing. So it's easy you can go on vacation for 7 days in another country. How it's cool.
Yeah.
They give you 30-day travel or visas, whatever. Anything exceeding 30 days, you need all types of paperwork, clearance. And like I said, with the time difference, it's different. So, like, I can't call somebody in the UK because it's probably, $1 a minute. So it would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
So trying to email people all day and night, trying to get on the same page, and it's not like an American football type of understanding. So
yeah, they don't care.
They were new to the ball game as well. So trying to have to, it was just a lot, but it once I got through that, I knew I could do it all. That was hard, but it was literally the best year I've ever had.
Well, that's kind of you struggle and then it ends up working out that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the recession in 2007, 2008 was a horrific nightmare for anybody in commercial real estate. That was me. And I mean, the world ended in the South Bay. Commercial development was off 98%. So if you're working for a developer, there was no work. So guess what? He doesn't want to pay you anymore.
And unfortunately, my dad was laid off at that time too. I was really young to fully understand. And then, of course, I got older and started, learning more self-education. And I've seen the movie The Big Short 3 times. And I kind of understood as I watched it more and more that the impact of not only it didn't just affect Americans, it affected the whole world.
Oh, yeah. I mean, on a personal story, a company I worked for prior to commercial real estate was a cabinet company. And we sold cabinets to new home builders, all the big tract homes that were going up. And the factory for them was in Toronto, Canada. So I used to go up there for the general manager's meeting. and I think there was 2,500 employees, two or three factories up in Toronto area, and it was owned by Kohler, a big plumbing company, and the Kohler faucets and sinks and toilets. And when the recession hits, you know, it spiraled so far down that they ended up Kohler closed up the cabinet company. You know, that cabinet company had been around since 1947. Like 60, 70 years of people working there, 2,500 people gone one day. Like, oh, okay. Because you know, if the home builders aren't building homes, you don't need cabinets for homes that aren't being built.
Yeah.
You know, and since then, it was just bad. And because of that, though, I got the job I have now, which I'm extremely happy with. So,
it all worked out then, God.
Yeah. But at the time, it was a horrific nightmare. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's just like what you're going through. You know, I mean, at some point, the Chargers are going to say, no, thank you.
Yeah.
And then what's next? You know, I mean, that's going to happen to Rivers. That's going to happen to Breeze. Look at Eli Manning, you know.
I think probably 97% of NFL players.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Rosen, right? I mean, the quarterback for the Cardinals who went to UCLA.
Yeah, he was there for like 3 days.
Like, he was a first-round pick, man.
Yeah.
Oh, but you got replaced by another first-round pick. Now he's with the Dolphins. Now he loves the Dolphins.
And then they're probably going to bring in someone in July. Watch. It's just it's a forever business, which I totally understand, because it's not just people running around with catching a football or blocking. It's a business you have to keep. So.
Well, it's kind of like, I mean, you know, if you're making shirts or hoodies or sweatpants or whatever, an apparel, and if you have a designer that's helping you out with that, and if he or she stops performing, you get rid of them.
Yeah.
And it's no different. You know, one thing I don't usually think about, I was watching some of your films and at training camp, and I never thought about it before, but like if you do well in training camp, you're making a cornerback or a safety look bad, right? So by making them look bad, you might be preventing them from achieving their dream of being in the NFL. But conversely, if they do well, they make you look bad, and you might not get your dream.
Yeah, so it's what I had to learn. Well, what anything in business, like you can make friends, yada yada yada, but
yeah,
you know, from 9 to 5, I'm trying to, you know, provide for myself and my family.
Yeah.
Outside of that, cool, let's go to movies. But like, you know, when it's time, that's what I saw about Phillip Rivers and other people. It's like when it was time, that 2-hour practice, I don't know anybody. I'm here locked and loaded with one goal. Of course, you have, 16 years of experience. But then outside of it, yeah, you can laugh and joke all you want. So, but for me, going undrafted, like, there was no laughing time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he literally has 2 or 3 guys looking to replace him.
Yeah.
On the same team, much less all the kids in college, much less all the other, you know, all the practice squad people and all, you know what I mean? I mean,
it can get traded like any time of the year as well. So it's like you never know. Yeah,
I mean, and that's welcome to the business world. It's the same way. It's just different to see it out in public.
Yeah.
You know, I'm telling you. I mean, if your apparel brand or when your apparel brand grows, you're going to have some decisions to make. A sales rep who starts out strong ends up being weak. You got to let them go because you need sales.
Yeah, and I've been learning that over the past year. So. But it's going good, and I'm learning more about relationships. You know, so it's like attention, relationship, and stuff. That's what drives and brings business.
What's the distribution on your apparel? I mean, how can my listeners check you out and find out where everything's at?
So again, my name is Marcus Peterson. My website is www.mpmotivationalapparel.com. The MP, of course, stands for Marcus Peterson. It's my apparel brand. So I intertwine my personal brand with a motivational apparel brand. So I'm selling not just the product, I'm selling the story of my struggles that ignited, my success. And it's funny because my target market at first, before I came out with it the day after I got signed to the Chargers.
Wow.
The strategic, because I knew I was going to get signed somewhere. I had that gut feeling. So, boom, that's when I wanted to come out with, because the story made sense. So, you sell an emotion, you sell a story, which like in business.
Yes.
So, the target market was for high school kids or college kids that kind of had the same story as mine, but it alluded to something totally different, which was people all over the world, because now I grew a market in a network of people overseas, so in the UK, Africa, Germany, France. So I've traveled to all those places and done work and business there. But it's for I get more customers. I think 90% of my customers are non-athletic.
Yeah.
And the age of 25, 28 and up. So you have to adjust to, where your audience is. Because you can have it at a certain market, but if another channel is tuning in more, boom, you have to adjust. So that's kind of what I like about it.
Well, now I'll tell you, I'm 30 years from being athletic, I guess, but the things, the messages and the motivational items on your gear affect. It doesn't matter what you do. It could be business. It could be personal relationships. I mean,
yes, exactly. It resonates with anyone in any industry. A single mother, someone who wants to finish college, a first generation of college,
or go back and get their degree after they raise their kids, or
exactly. So that's what I've learned more, is that that's what the message is for anyone in any industry that resonates with the four mantras, which is 100% focus on plan A, which my plan A was to make it to the NFL regardless of what anybody said or wanted for my life. Thank God I had the support system to help me, but, I developed the mindset and trusting God. My second one is stay persistent, because, I didn't get drafted, didn't get invited to combine. I didn't make it to the NFL out of college. I had to stay persistent, literally travel to a different country. And even months after that, keep going. So there's a lot of no's. There's a quote that says, yes got me to Egypt, but no's took me to the promised land. So a lot of no's and staying persistent with anything you do. And then my third one is prove yourself right. I used to want to prove others wrong and a negative, and coming from a angry energy. And once I switched it into digest proving myself right in a positive light, and understanding that, I'm not living to impress other people, but to knowing if I can do something and I do it, I can just give myself a hand clap and a pat on the back. I don't need, the world to acknowledge it. So that energy switch changed my mindset on a lot of things as well. And then, like you said earlier, I was the first person to sign an NFL contract in the schools, in both of my universities' history. So, don't make goals, make history. So, in business, don't aim for 1 million, aim for 10 million. But if you shoot at 10 million, you can at least get 750,000, So, when it comes
absolutely.
To that. So those are my four mantras that I go for.
Let me answer this question. But now that you made your plan A, what's your next plan A?
Glad you asked. I have three. So far in my mid-20s, and they will continue to grow, of course.
Yeah.
I have 4 life goals. And my philosophy is I look at life backwards. I don't go from 21, 22, 23. I kind of live backwards, 85, 84. Because I look at, when I make decisions and when I look at things, I picture myself, in a hospital or at an old age, or like,
Yeah.
did I live up to the ability that I thought I should have or could have, or did I settle for what society wanted me to settle for? And my biggest thing is not living with regret. So one of my 4 goals were to make the NFL, to make $1 million, run and complete a marathon, like a LA marathon or San Francisco marathon or London marathon. And the 4th one, which is my biggest deal now, is to make the list of Forbes 30 under 30, which is influencers or anyone who makes an impact and is noticed by people that are of age 30 and under. So that's my biggest goal now.
You're gonna have to hustle, man. You only got a couple of years left.
Yeah, so
you're on your way
work
though.
now.
I don't think anyone's going to doubt that you got a shot at it.
Yeah.
I mean,
once I put my mind to something, I have to go after it. So.
Yeah, and I had to do that with my podcast because I went from coaching my daughters while they're growing up in soccer and then lacrosse, and then actually becoming a high school assistant coach in lacrosse, and going, okay, I'm affecting 25, 30 girls' lives every season. But if I can get on my podcast and do some positive things and share people's stories and that, how many more people can I be affecting?
Exactly.
So it's kind of the same deal. And, shoot, dude, I mean, not a lot of 50-plus-year-olds are trying something new.
Yeah.
That's
but, understanding the power of timing on what you value your life to be, because like 50, but you got 30 more years. That's a lot of time.
Yeah,
30,
exactly.
40, 50 more years. So
exactly. And a wise person once said to me, use what you have, which is your experience.
Exactly.
My life experience. So don't use your age, because all this technology and everything was relatively new to me. I mean, I use my phone and this and that, but the social media platform, branding platform is, it was a new concept. Podcasting and video blogs and all that was like, what? So that's cool, man. I'm stoked to have met you and talked to you for a bit, and looking forward to some exciting things. I'll definitely on my website I'll share all of your contact info and the website so people.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Can get some gear and all that. And are you starting training camp soon?
Yeah, so it's kind of just like voluntary workout. And now that the draft is over, they have like rookie mini camp that starts actually for some teams tomorrow, and then some teams, so it's 3 days, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then next week Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you have like OTAs and just little mini camp, and then you have training camp, which is like it starts the last couple of days of July on to the season.
Where are you guys doing your training camps now?
One more time?
Where are you doing the training camps?
What is it? The first semester. So now it's like.
Oh, where?
Oh, in Costa Rica.
Oh, okay. Because you guys, not you guys, the Chargers used to do their training camps at where you played for the last couple of years.
Yeah. So it
at Dominguez.
Yeah, that was like in San Diego. So now they moved to LA, I think 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy I was told I was the first ever to have a workout at that new facility, at the LA facility. So I'll hold that forever. But
that's crazy.
But yeah, so in Costa Rica and then play in Carson. So it's like a 20-minute drive distance from each other.
Yeah, no. One of the guys I played football with in high school ended up he was a wide receiver, actually, I think for the Packers for 2 years. And he went into the office, the front office for the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
And his name's Jimmy Ray. And he's now with the Lions. But he took me when they were in Carson for training camp. He's like, hey, because I'm pretty close to it. So he's like, come on over. And so we actually, it was Philip Rivers' first year. He was a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we just walked around the facility and all that and met Doug Flutie, who was still QBing, and James Lofton was the wide receiver coach. And, yeah, it was cool. I mean, at the time I was like, "Whoa, this is awesome." I was more, to be honest, I was more happy to meet James Lofton because, he was playing when I was in high school and all that. So that was a big deal. And then, so it's weird to think that you guys played there, where your training camp used to be.
Yeah, now going to be moving to Inglewood with the Rams.
I know, man.
Probably next year, which is coming by fast. So it might be 2021.
I just went to LAX last week, and coming over to the 105 bridge, I'm like, there it is. There's the stadium right there.
Yeah, and it's like huge. It's supposed to be the biggest, best NFL stadium to date.
That would be so crazy if you can stay on the team until that stadium opens up.
That's the goal.
Yeah,
2 minutes away from the stadium. It's a funny place.
I know, but man, an Inglewood hometown kid playing over by the Forum. Dude.
I've always imagined living in LA and then playing for the Lakers.
Well, yeah, same thing, right?
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, they were playing at the Forum. The Lakers were playing at the Forum.
Yeah.
And the Clippers were at the sports arena by USC.
Yeah, so it's the Clippers are actually supposed to be moving back in 3 years. Not to the Forum, but right behind the stadium. So it's the Forum, and then behind the Forum it's the new stadium, and then behind the new stadium is supposed to be the Clippers stadium.
Oh, you're kidding, really? A new arena?
Yeah, in 2023.
I know they're using the Forum as a church on the weekends.
Yeah, they not anymore. They did they stopped about 3 years ago.
Oh, did they really?
Maybe even longer, maybe 5 years ago. But now they have Madison Square Garden bought it, so now they have concerts and things of that nature weekly.
Yeah. That's cool. That's growing up. Inglewood's going to be different. They got rid of the horse track, and now they're going to have the.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, they'll probably get the Super Bowl there, and they'll get some big events there.
Oh yeah. The Olympics is going to be here 2024.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot.
Yeah, you have to stay hooked up with people so you can get some swag for the Olympics.
I know. It's going to be definitely a growing market.
In '84, I was in high school when the Olympics came, and so I went to the wrestling. I went to that because it was at the Anaheim Convention Center. I watched the torch run. I did all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
My sister went to the gymnastics that were going on for the Olympics, and she was a gymnast in college at the time. So it's dope. It's crazy. It's pretty cool. That'll be something. Were you over there in London during the Olympics? No.
No, I was.
It was close though.
Was it 2016?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Right after.
Yeah, that would have been cool if you were there for that.
Yeah.
All right, but hey, I appreciate the time.
Of course.
Anything else you want to share with my listeners?
Definitely, like I said, so my Instagram is Marcus T. Peterson, so that's MarcusT as in Timothy, and then Peterson, Peterson. Also, my Facebook is Marcus Peterson, YouTube Marcus Peterson, and like I said, my website is mpmotivationalapparel.com. Thank you guys so much.
My listeners. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, buddy.
I just want to say thank you so much.
Oh no, I was just going to make sure all my listeners, everything's going to be on the website. So if you didn't write it down, if you're driving in your car, just go to the website, and I'll have an automatic link so you can reach out to Marcus. He's a great guy, and best of luck in the future. But I hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Marcus. Have a good day, bud.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.